Let's go, boys.
Let's go, come on.
Here they come, boys. Here they come.
Just hit that road and then head west.
Watch out, Tiger. There's infantry close.
Push it, man.
Fire!
Everyone fall back. Everyone fall back.
Infantry, come over here.
I'll see the field.
Cromwell, close.
This is some news I've been wanting to hear for a very long time. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and in the last 24 hours, we've gotten some big news regarding Postscriptum. Yeah, Postscriptum's a World War II, I guess you could call it a tactical strategy, and a first-person shooter that came out in 2018, and I showcased it heavily on the channel during its closed alpha and shortly after its release, and I really thoroughly enjoyed the game. And after the release of Hell Let Loose, many people have told me to move on from Postscriptum and saying that Hell Let Loose is better. It's better. Oh, dude, it's better. You should play it's better. And I did play Hell Let Loose, and I enjoyed that as well. And I think Postscriptum certainly was a game that was a fantastic opportunity to learn some kind of new concepts that came around a few years ago and that have ever since become even better. Now, back in the day, we played a lot of games like Red Orchestra and Rising Storm, and then eventually Postscriptum really opened my mind to how World War II could certainly be a lot different. And it worked along the same lines as, well, of course, Squad. And now it's been acquired by Off-World Industries, who, again, is making Squad and also, of course, working on games, at least publishing, and also working on games such as the new Starship Troopers Extermination, another great FPS that is good and certainly getting better. I am delighted to see new life and new excitement from the community being blown into Postscriptum, almost like the market garden itself, like all these planes flying over, people dropping in to play again and to remember what they enjoyed about it. And all of my memories from Postscriptum are good. I had tons of fun playing it and enjoyed all the airstrikes and the tank combat and hunting tanks and fighting in and around all of the areas of mostly Market Garden. But now the game is going to be getting new areas and new factions, and I have no idea what will be coming down the pipe, but I'm very excited. Now, recently on this channel, we've been promoting a lot of Men of War 2 and also Gates of Hell Ostfront Liberation, which is, of course, a call to arms game, which are all World War II strategy games that always make me think of Postscriptum and also Hell Let Loose from the top-down perspective. Although those games do allow you to take third and first-person control, a lot of when you're playing those games really makes you think of the strategies that people have come up with the gameplay of Postscriptum and Hell Let Loose. But I'm very excited to see Hell Let Loose getting some competition again. As many of you know, Hell Let Loose kind of got into some hot water with the community with making some changes and quality dropping, and this is good. With Postscriptum being picked up again and really pushed hard, and with people maybe coming back to it and more money being put into it to develop new weapons and factions and maps and features and updating perhaps the engine and looking better, well, maybe that'll make Hell Let Loose step it up a bit too, and Team 17, who publishes Hell Let Loose, will have to step it up as well. And that means we win. We get more games to play, and more people who might find Postscriptum to then find Hell Let Loose, or people who are bored of Hell Let Loose who've never played Postscriptum wanting to pick that up again. So it's a great opportunity for everyone everywhere to be able to experience a more Squad-like game, because of course now with it being published by Off-World Industries, and of course with it being highly inspired by the elements of Squad, of building operation points and whatever the terminology is for Postscriptum, I've forgotten. But yeah, a lot of the footage you're seeing on the screen, by the way, is from the closed alpha around August of 2018. And so this one's been around for a while, but with 15,000 mostly positive reviews, I hope this is a game that everyone remembers with a good a good memory, and hopefully creates even better memories with all the people who've now moved on to games like Hell Let Loose and who've only played that can then go back to games like Postscriptum. And now, interestingly enough, Offworld Industries is also publishing a World War I game that I enjoyed called Beyond the Wire, which upon playing that one, it seemed completely dead. And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of these games that are very good kind of have almost, interestingly enough, nobody playing them, even though there's so many people, like just endless amounts of people playing FPSs, who then I think go on to games like, for example, unfortunately, Call of Duty, and don't actually get kind of a more authentic experience. Now, there's nothing wrong with Call of Duty and Warzone and all that, but then again, the recent campaigns and whatnot show that I don't think the developers really care about making any sort of a cinematic experience, but I feel like you can get a much more cinematic experience with a good game, a last stand of like Starship Troopers or Postscriptum, or even in Squad, where it can be damn near almost movie-like, or almost like a epic battle that actually happened in history that everyone references, even though it's just a battle in a fictional location in Squad. And so I feel like these games and the cooperation between the players and everyone picking a role and having to fall in line and work together and do those roles and do them well in order to win is what excites me about games like Hell Let Loose and Foxhole even. In fact, I would say that Foxhole is probably the ultimate military simulator, with, of course, having to gather supplies and materials and then to literally make tanks yourself, literally make battleships and their shells and the fuel for them. I mean, that's an insane experience. So when games like Postscriptum came around, and I can recall that there were other games that, of course, were modified to do that before Postscriptum. This was just simply my first experience with it. Then, of course, there were mods for Squad to bring in other types of elements to it, and there were realistic mods and whatnot for Battlefield that would bring in almost like a 6 Days in Fallujah-like experience. Well, Postscriptum certainly was the first one to really blow my mind. When the developers invited me to the closed alpha event, I mean, the explosions, the aircraft, everything just, it blew my mind. It really did. And Hell Let Loose did pick up on that. So I'm really hoping now that with all of the hype around just simply the trailer and confirming that they've been reacquired by Offworld and that there's going to be a continuation of the project, I really hope to see Postscriptum become something that it once was. And I don't think we necessarily need a new game, but I certainly think that we can definitely, at least from Postscriptum, get it to its full potential. I really don't think it ever reached that, but all of the people that I played with and whatnot knew what they were doing, and everybody loved it and wanted to play more. And I feel like this will definitely bring all those people back. And I hope it also makes a wonderful cycle of people playing 3 different games at a time. Hell Let Loose, then into Postscriptum, and then into Foxhole, or back into Squad, or maybe into some other game like BattleBit, for example. All of these, interestingly enough, translate well into each other, even though they're vastly different. And that's something really special about gaming that I really want to continue to see, where more roles can be played out. In fact, I think, didn't Postscriptum literally have a camera in it where you could take photos and become like a battlefield photographer? Usually I play roles like the medic or the machine gunner and set up in a building and try to cover a point, or try to help my team by healing them up, and or other teams around. I'm typically not so good at like being an SMG gunner and clearing a building, or really even just being a basic rifleman. I just end up to be cannon fodder a lot more. So I know my roles and where I excel. And also building defenses is certainly a lot of fun too, in fortifying areas, whether it be any of the games I mentioned. But yeah, it's really great that these games have allowed us to do all sorts of things, like stay in the back line and become an artilleryman, or be in the back line and snipe other people, like I've done before in Hell Let Loose. So I hope to see some of these things in Postscriptum, which of course focuses heavily on Operation Market Garden, and a lot of the maps are based on that. And it's really interesting to be able to jump out of those aircraft as the allies and be able to bring up the rear and try to push the Germans back, and or the Germans to defend. It's a very interesting point of World War II for me. A lot of great movies around that time. Of course, Bridge Too Far is the first that comes to mind. And every time that I played the game, I always just felt like I was in the movie too, just in a more realistic setting. So it is great news to hear that Offworld Industries has basically acquired and is going to be pushing and just doing a lot in terms of Postscriptum. I love what they're doing with Starship Troopers Extermination. I think there's a lot of great progress in that game, and they've got a long way to go too, but anything Starship Troopers is great to see. Even that top-down strategy game from Slytherin is wonderful to see. more things being added to Squad all the time. I mean, literally new factions coming out. People still, I mean, I think I played that when it first dropped, and I recently played it within the last year, and it was a friendly and welcome environment where everybody was willing to help and try to lead everybody to, you know, to victory and to try to do their best. And it's nice to see everybody just knowing that everyone's just trying to have a good time and not try to be so toxic or try to put the other team down. Everyone's just trying to make the battle be the best experience that it can be. I feel that in BattleBit, and I feel that in Squad and Starship Troopers Extermination as well. Of course, that's more PvE, but it is a great experience. And I hope to also see Beyond the Wire pick up a bit too. Hopefully more people pick up that World War I shooter as well. And yeah, I think we also need a lot more World War I shooters. But boys, can we get another maybe Red Orchestra? Can we get another Rising Storm? Something more for Vietnam, but more specifically, Korea. Do we have any first-person shooter for Korea at all that's not a mod? I don't even think any of the Battlefields even ever touched on it, let alone any of the Black Ops missions from Call of Duty or whatnot. Yeah, that'd be really interesting to see some of the battles from Korea for sure. I mean, we only, I think, recently have gotten a lot of stuff for World War I, starting from what I can remember with Verdun, going into then Tannenberg, and now Azonzo for the developer working on that, making 3 different games on different fronts of World War I. But yeah, I would love to see someone, including Offworld Industries, pick up a developer or make their own development team to then do something for Korea. More stuff for World War I and many other wars. There's a lot of interesting history that can be learned from those, or history can be made with games like Squad, where fictional battles can take place, or just like in BattleBit or whatnot, which feels more like Battlefield itself. All right, well, let me know what all your thoughts are down below. I loved to see the tweet the other day. A lot of you came to me in our live streams and had mentioned it. I looked it up. I was blown away. I was like, no way. I thought Postscriptum was kind of just like abandoned from everybody, and that no one really wanted to play the game anymore. And I always wanted to. I just wanted people to play with, and I didn't want anyone to try to compare Postscriptum to Hell Let Loose and say one is better than the other. Certainly there's some things to love about Hell Let Loose over Postscriptum, but vice versa. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. What one do you like? What are you looking forward to for new FPSs? And is Postscriptum a game you've played before or would likely play again? Let me know what you think, and I'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much for watching.